Okay, I have arrived in Amarillo. My friend Brian, who did all the repairs on the trailer, I say repairs, improvements. He made a lot of improvements. We got this little drip edge over my door now, so no water can come in the door. We got this flashing here on the back, which not only makes my trailer look better, but it makes it work better because it seals it up. No water can get in there. Of course, we did both sides there. Here, well, I always forget you can't flip it around. Anyway, we did both sides. Makes the whole trailer look better. I did a fresh coat of epoxy on top. Make it a little tougher, make it a little more waterproof. What else did we do? He took me to get some wheels, some more wheels, so I have backup wheels. Should I run over anything? Man, he made me some fenders I'll have to show you tomorrow, because we loaded the trailer up in a truck and drove it here, and so a lot of my stuff kind of bounced around in there, even though I had it packed away pretty good. I'm thinking when I turn on the light, it's not going to be as bad as I think it is. But anyway, I'm horrible at saying goodbye. All I know to do is to pray the dickens out of somebody, pray like crazy that God would move in their life. And past that, I don't know how to say goodbye, because I don't plan on saying goodbye to anybody. It's see you later. So anyway, but man, I really have made some awesome friends along the way. There's too many to name. But some of the new ones, Brian Hall's Wiggins, as his truck, one of his work trucks says on the side. Sweetest guy, man, big gentle giant, very handy. He did, like I said, he did the repairs, and kind of a man of peace in his town. He seemed to know everybody, and he seemed to know where to get anything I needed as far as supplies for the trailer go, and generous, like fighting over the check, generous. He bought, every time I went out to eat, he took me, and he would never let me pay. And then so finally tonight I took him out to eat, and made arrangements before he could to get it paid for myself. And of course I bought the cheapest dinner. Not that we ate anywhere expensive, but still having company and having warm food was good. And so anyway, during the days I would go in, and if you know me, I can talk. Would go in and bend the pastor's ear. Pastor Ryan Vanderworld, anyway, Ryan, nice guy, fellow cyclist. Didn't tell me until we had been talking for a long time that he's a roadie. In other words, he likes to ride not mountain bikes or cyclocross or anything, but on the road. Really nice guy. Totally reminded me of a young Ellis. Theologically, philosophy, his smile in his face kind of reminded me of Ellis too. Except for instead of well, I'll just skip that, but he shaved his head anyway. Really nice guy, nice wife, nice Bible teacher, good pastor and a good preacher. And man, we talked about everything. He might know me better than some of y'all now. Anyway, we spent, I don't know, two hours twice just sitting talking, maybe more than that even. And anyway, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Electra. Not just getting my trailer and making friends, but the town, the story of the church. It was an older congregation, and I get to ask them, because I'm not staying there and I don't live there. The privilege of that is you get to ask questions that you wouldn't normally ask your pastor, or ask a pastor that in a town where you're at. Some of those, what's your plan, what's your strategy, man, because your church is old. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I mean. Really trying to fish for, like, how would you want me to pray for you? You know what I mean? If you had somebody who you knew would, like, just bombard heaven with prayers for the next week and a half until he meets the next pastor. How would you want me to pray for you? What's your strategy? What's your do you need tactics? Do you need a vision? Do you need, just what is your vision? If you have a vision, how do I pray that into fruition? Anyway, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hanging out with him. Like I said, good smile, good sense of humor. Kind of the testimony that he grew up in church. He got saved at camp, in a youth camp, and even though he knew all about God, he didn't know God until then, and made a decision and wants to work on wanted to work on being an educator at a seminary, and I kind of got the feeling he'd probably make it there. I think if he's given up on that, he threw the towel in too early. It takes time for God to make a man what he wants him to be. And so anyway, I kind of encouraged him to tonight, if that's the desire of his heart, to not give up on that unless he finds that God has a better or different desire for him. And just had a good time. Met all their deacons and most of their deacons that show up on Sunday, and everybody was friendly. And I guess that catches you up. It was a little weird. I was out of touch for a while, so expect these to come more often and not so several at a time. But I'm looking at the clock and it says 6:45, so it says 6 minutes and 40 something minutes. So my devotions, I've jumped way ahead since the last time you heard from me. I've gone all the way through 2 Samuel a couple times, and I have a few notes, but not a whole lot. I'm already into Kings, like 13 chapters, and First Kings, and we'll probably reread or re-listen to Kings. A lot of times when I'm busy with my hands, I like to put my Bible app has an audio function, so at any point I want to quit reading, I can just tap the play button and it'll read it to me. I need a better voice, and I'm glad I can get a better voice now that I'm here in internet land, having internet again. The town I was in was originally a 10,000 person town that has dwindled down to 2,000 people, and that's why I really wanted to know about his tactics, what he planned on doing, because it was like a regional sized church. It was like a church where you might have 500 to 600 members type building, but it was I don't know how many were there, not that, so anyway, I wanted to know what goes through a pastor's head in that situation. I learned just recently that Jonathan Smith just left First Baptist in LaGrange, which was a shock because he never said anything to me about it. Apparently he didn't say a whole lot to very many people anyway, and I'm surprised, but he has roots in Houston, and God's in the business of moving people where he can use them. And the funny thing about being used is sometimes you get used and you get moved. When you use a vacuum cleaner, you don't vacuum the same spot over and over. So anyway, when you make disciples, the whole goal is to create a ministry that is full of God and can move on without you. And so maybe he's completed his task in LaGrange, but I know he had a good game in LaGrange. So I know he ran a good race in LaGrange, and he did a good job, and he brought the church to where it's at, and God brought the church to where it's at through him, and really made a difference. And wherever he goes, I'm sure that he will continue to allow God to use him. I knew he's working on his doctorate, and it's always a possibility as you work on as your pastor works on their doctorate, that they're going to move on to a bigger church or to a different church as they explore new avenues. Anyway, my prayers are with you, First Baptist. You'll make it. If this is a God thing, it'll work out in a way that's good for you and good for Jonathan. And so you guys should be rejoicing, not happy that Jonathan's gone, but happy that God's using him and that God's going to continue to bless you guys and move y'all to a new season. Somebody else is going to learn to be pastor of First Baptist Church. So God bless you guys. Have a good night. I will catch you in the morning unless something eventful happens.